I'm Ed Sheffield. Edward, Edward, C Sheffield, Sheffield. I was born and raised at Cabbage Grove
Could you
Community.
Cabbage Grove?
Cabbage Grove Community.
Spell it.
C-A-B-B-A-G-E.
C-A-B-B-A-J.
A-G-E.
A-G-E.
Cabbage Grove Community.
Ah. What state is that?
That's in Florida. Perry, Florida.
Mm-hmm. And what is your birthday?
March 23rd, 1930.
Tell me about your family, your parents and your siblings when you were growing up.
I'm the oldest of 5 boys and 2 girls.
Uh-huh. When did you graduate the high school?
I graduated from high school after I got out of the service.
So when did you actually join the army? Did you join the army or?
I joined the army because there wasn't any more work in the area to do, and it was too far to town. It had no bus running.
Ah.
So me and my brother decided to go in the military.
Ah. There was no job around?
No.
So your younger brother and you joined the army together?
The one next to me, yeah.
Ah. Do you remember what day you joined it?
January the 19th, 1949.
What is your younger brother's name?
Otis.
Spell it, please.
O-T-I-S.
Otis Sheffield.
Yeah.
Wow, you joined the army with your brother together.
Mm-hmm.
Ah. Where did you go to receive basic military training?
Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Uh-huh. And what kind? What was your specialty?
I had no specialty, just basic training, until I was shipped overseas, and then I was assigned to as a communication chief.
Communication chief.
Yeah.
What does that mean, communication chief?
Well, that's the radios and telephones.
Did you fix or did you use it?
Well, we used it and fixed it.
So you were trained to fix it, repair those things? Were you good at it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And then what happened to you? Did you go to Korea directly from there or what?
We were stationed in Camp Hakata, Japan.
When did you leave for Japan?
For Japan, I left, I forgot when I left.
Was it before the war or after?
Yeah, it was up before the war.
1949?
Yeah, we were stationed in Japan about a year when the war broke out in Korea.
Uh-huh. What did you do in Japan?
We were just basic training and exercise.
How was the battle situation there?
Oh, it was terrible.
Tell me about the details.
The Chinese were coming at us, the
North Koreans.
North Koreans at first. They were coming at us full blast, trying to take all of Korea. And we had orders to hold them at all cost. And I lost my chain of thought now.
Yeah, go ahead.
I am 84 years old.
I know.
And I've tried to forget a great deal of it, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But Busan, Korea was not a real big town. But we didn't stay there. We immediately transferred to railroad cars and headed north to the combat zone.
Right.
Combat zone was a little south of Sewell at that time.
Mm-hmm.
They had already came across the demarcation line.
Mm-hmm.
And
how close between you and North Koreans at the Busan perimeter? How close?
the distance,
Yeah.
probably 600 to 800 miles.
Okay. And were you scared at the time?
No, but the commanders kept telling us, we were facing real bullets.
Yeah.
And better be prepared for it.
Uh-huh.
And when we got up on the front lines, most of our infantry was already wiped out.
Oh.
Because I was on the front lines on the 3rd, and they had been there for a few days before. And, in artillery, big artillery weapons, you usually set up from a mile to 2 miles behind the front lines.
Yes.
In support of the infantry.
Yeah.
And the infantry had practically been wiped out, so we found ourselves right up on the front line. So we had to deal with all the people, and we had withdrew 6 times and was in a 7th position when it was finally overrun.
Mm-hmm.
The North Koreans captured us. They had knocked out all the road bridges behind us, and we couldn't withdraw anymore. So we were there setting ducks.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you were captured in Busan perimeter?
No, I was captured in the Seoul. Seoul is right up on the border of the demarcation line.
Yeah. Seoul.
So we were just south of Seoul.
Remember the day that you were captured?
Yeah, it's on the 14th. 14th in the daytime.
Yeah, September? August?
No, it was July.
July 14th.
Yeah.
I think you were captured not in Seoul. No. I don't think so.
The North Koreans had already took Seoul.
Yeah.
And had captured several civilians and that they kept with us. Not immediately with us, but close enough we could see them, They kept them with us all up through North Korea.
Where were you when you were captured? Was it Busan perimeter, Daegu, or do you remember where you were captured?
About 50 miles west of Seoul.
Mm-hmm.
Or south of Seoul, I don't remember. Right lays right now.
Yeah. Got it. And it was North Koreans, right?
It was North Koreans, yeah.
How do they treat you?
Oh, terrible.
Tell me about it.
We were laying there our big weapon was on the right side of the road. The left side of the road was rice paddies.
Mm-hmm.
And me and 5 other guys was on the left side of the road in a irrigation ditch that feeds the rice paddies.
Mm-hmm.
And we were overlooking the rice paddies, and the big guns was on the other side of the road. And most of our guys was on the other side of the road.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I kept seeing little clumps of bushes out across these rice paddies get up and move. And that's where I was concentrating, and that's where I was firing. And all of a sudden, the forces quit moving so fast, and we were in a little lull there, and had a little bit of fire coming out across the rice paddies, and I looked over my shoulder, and there was 5 of the guys laying dead in the ditch right next to me. And our battalion commander was he was just the other side of the road. He was standing inside of a 6-by with a loudspeaker telling us we were being surrounded. And he got shot right in the head.
Oh. How did North Korean treat you?
Terrible.
Did they hit you?
Oh, yeah. Well, let me tell you.
Look at this way, yeah.
When they captured me and the guy that had been shot right through the middle and right next to me, they brought us up on the road. And when I looked over my shoulder to the left, and I seen 5 North Koreans standing there with the weapons pointed at me. Mm-hmm. I knew if I moved, I was dead. So I just froze for a minute. One of the guys ran up there and stuck a bayonet in my back.
Bayonet?
Yeah.
Just stuck it?
Yeah. And then he kicked my weapon away from me. And when he did, I turned over. And
so you were bleeding?
Yeah.
Oh my God. They just did it?
Yeah.
Without reason? You didn't move, or you didn't do resistance?
No, I didn't resist them, but they seen this Army officer's belt that I had on that he'd captured 2 days before. He was infiltrating our line with a rice paddy on his back, and with his weapons and his ammunition in this A-frame pack. And he was the one that was blowing up the bridges behind us. And I got his belt and was keeping it as a souvenir. And I thought the North Korean was going to kill me because of that.
Oh, I see.
And they roughed me up pretty good. And then they moved us up to the road. And they brought the other guys in from the other side. There was 8 of them. So there was 10 of us captured right there. Some of the guys from the other side of the road were bleeding also. And they tied our hands behind us with communication wire. And the North Korean was running all over the place there. They were getting some of the weapons and some of the trucks we had there. And they brought us all together for a few minutes right there on the road. And then they decided they were going to take us back through their lines. I got a bullet hit my leg. That was after I was captured.
How? North Korean shot it?
Yeah, I think it was coming from a sniper up yonder, you know. Okay. Didn't know we were captured already.
So were you able to walk?
Yeah, I was able to walk.
You were bleeding from your back and bleeding from the left leg.
Yeah.
And you still were able to walk?
Yeah. The next morning, they got a big boat to put us on and took us across the river.
And
From there, we kept going north, and they'd put us off the road in between the mountains, and during the daytime, where the planes wouldn't strafe us.
mm-hmm.
And they'd move us mostly at night.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the guys was sick, wounded, and they wasn't feeding us either.
Not a single?
No,
time?
not for the first few days.
Never?
Not for the first few days.
Wow. And where did you arrive?
Well, they stopped us after we got on the train and went into North Korea.
Yeah.
They stopped in a little train station, and we got bombed. Well, the planes didn't know we were captured. You
Right.
know? So we got strafed and bombed with the planes.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them were British planes, and some of them were American planes. But they kept moving us on up in Korea. We had to eliminate the train after a while and get away from it because planes was after it so bad. I could see up the river, and there was a bridge about a mile from us.
Oh.
And on October the 30th, I seen the first bunch of the Chinese come across the river.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The Tiger told us we were going on a forced march. He was using a missionary as an interpreter, because he could understand all the language. And they told us we were going on a march up to these rugged mountains. And the ones that couldn't make it were going to be shot.
Mm.
So before we got on the road, he machine gunned the sick bay, killing all 17 of them.
Just kill everybody.
Yeah. We found out that he was in charge of killing about 300 people just before he took us over in another area. We started marching from there up to Pyongyang. And Pyongyang had been bombed that day and was burning to the ground.
Pyongyang is right there.
Mm-hmm.
So you were going down.
That's where we made it through the death march.
You're right.
We were going that way.
So what is Death March?
Well, it was a forced march.
From where? From Apex?
From Pyongyang up through the rugged mountains
Okay.
to the Apex area.
Okay. Uh-huh. And that's where they set it up the machine gun and kill you.
Well, just before we hit Pyongyang, they rushed us off the side of the road against a big mountain cliff, and they set up 3 machine guns.
I see.
And the Tiger was walking up and down with his handgun in his hand, and he was saying something to his guards, and the missionaries that were captured with us, they could understand what he was saying.
Right.
And they went to pleading with him, and for some reason he left and went into town and was gone for about 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Then he came back, and they started dismantling the machine guns. Well, we took a deep breath, because I'd already told my buddy, I said, this is where we're going to die.
So
some of the guys were too sick to walk fast, and they'd wind up, even with us helping them, 2 of us on each side of him helping him, he'd wind up at the end of the column, rear of the column, where the tiger was walking. And he'd walk up there to me and punch me in the side with his handgun, told me to put him down. Well, you had no choice, put him down. And he motioned for us to catch up to the column. And before we got 20 feet away, he'd shoot the guy, take his foot, kick him over the mountain. There was a ox cart road up through these mountains. And part of it was froze over already.
How was Apex camp?
Apex was a little village right up on the banks of the river with several different houses and one little two-room schoolhouse. And they put all they could in the schoolhouse and put the rest of us in little farmhouses there in the community.
How many times do they... Apex was under the North Koreans or the Chinese?
It was under the North Koreans at that time.
Do they beat you and interrogate you?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, they'd beat you for no reason at all, really.
When did you turned over to
Chinese.
Chinese? When?
It was in October, I think it was.
October 1950.
51.
51. Did North Koreans give you meal a day?
North Koreans, they fed us, well, that's where we starved to death under them. They fed us millet balls. The balls of millet, about the size of a tennis ball, once a day. And we lost, that first winter we lost 300 people up there.
At Apex?
At the Apex area.
300 people?
Yeah.
Do they bury them?
No, we took them. They made us take four of us. They called four of us out of the compound, and we picked the guy up, because it took four of us to carry one that didn't weigh 70 pounds. But we take him up in the mountains and found a gully, rake the snow back, lay him down, and pull the snow over. It was too cold, you couldn't dig a hole.
When were you released?
I was relieved on August the 30th, 1953.
Looking back those years, why do you think it happened to your life?
Well, I don't know why the Americans joined the Korean War, really. But I guess it was General MacArthur that wanted to save South Korea. And they alerted us before the end of the month. And we loaded on the LSTs and took off for Busan, Korea. And we landed in Busan. It took us all night to get there. We landed in Busan the next morning and immediately transferred the railroad car.
Yeah. Do you regret?
Oh, no. No, I don't regret, because I joined the military, you know. Whatever they wanted to do, I was ready to do.
What made you get through all those difficult times?
Well, I was in good shape before I went there. Because I was born and raised on a little farm in the backwoods of the county. And I had been managing cows and hogs and a little farm for and working at odd jobs, if I could find any odd jobs in the community there. And until there wasn't any more jobs, and then we had to do something. Couldn't go to school.
So you were strong.
Yeah.
Did you believe God?
Yeah.
So did you pray?
Yeah.
What did you pray? During the camp, in the camp?
I prayed for some bombers to come over there and wipe out North Korea completely, even if it was us along with it.
Do you think that it was God that made you through that difficult times?
Yeah. The food and the water that they fed us was contaminated, and it caused sickness, diarrhea, and that's what killed most of the guys. That and cold weather, severe cold. We lay there at the apex area. We lay there in the rooms at night. They had 20 to 25 men in a room the size of a small bedroom. But the crowded conditions is what kept us from freezing to death. A lot of them froze to death anyway.
Have you been back to Korea?
No.
Do you want to go back to Korea?
I've been thinking about it. South Korea is a modern country now.
Very much,
Yeah.
because you fought
Yeah.
for us. You are very lucky to survive this Tiger's machine gun. How do you think that it happened to you?
There was 723 of us to start with.
700?
723 that was captured when my outfit was wiped out. And out of the 723, we lost the most of them. There was only 300.
300 survived?
300 survived.
How do you put all these things into a perspective?
Well, I don't anymore, I used to, but I forgot a great deal of it.
You want to forget?
Yeah.
Edward, thank you so much for sharing this
Yeah.
hard and unimaginable experience of yours. And I want to thank you on behalf of Korean nation for all those sufferings. And thank you very much again.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
Thank you.